Excerpt from The Crowned Craziness of His Majesty's Matrimonial Fancy, play written by Tasmin Jahan. Scene 1. It is the early 1950s. The Quiet Island Palace. It is a huge, old, and tired-looking building. The middle-aged king of Quiet Island is well-presented and handsome. Today, he is in his chambers, sitting at his bureau, admiring some photographs. The furniture within the room looks worn. The once beautiful period decor is in need of restoration. He smiles to himself as he closely examines each photograph. His moment of contentment is disrupted by Nathaniel. Nathaniel is the king's lawyer. He is in his early 30s and smartly dressed. He appears anxious. On hearing a firm knock on the door, the king's contentment turns to agitation.
Your Majesty, I am so sorry to disturb you.
Then don't.
Your Majesty, it is very important.
Is it about Humphrey? Is he feeling better now?
Your Majesty, the delegates are here.
Let them wait.
They've been waiting for an hour.
So?
How long should they wait?
Is it very, very, very important?
The delegates are here to discuss our nation's part in the renewed treaty. By agreeing to be part of this treaty, it will greatly help with intergovernmental alliances concerning our nation's security.
Quiet Island is still pondering over that proposal.
But you haven't heard the whole proposal, Your Majesty. The delegates have updated some of the information.
Humphrey didn't sleep last night.
I am sorry to hear that.
I hope he's not in too much pain.
I'm sure he will be fine.
Maybe we cut his nails too soon. We should have waited.
Maybe.
You know how much I love Humphrey. When Humphrey is troubled, I feel unsettled as well.
Your Majesty, llamas are quite resilient animals. I am sure Humphrey will recover.
I hope so.
Now, about the delegates.
As I'm getting married soon, what are their thoughts on monogamy then?
Pardon?
Well, do you know?
I don't know, Your Majesty.
Then why are you still standing here?
Does that mean I have to ask?
Yes.
Right now?
Yes.
But
no buts.
Your Majesty, the delegates have been waiting to discuss.
It's a simple question, Nathaniel.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Just ask what they feel and come back with a response.
The most pertinent question here, Your Majesty, is...
The one with the big glasses and the shoulder twitch. Is he here?
I wasn't thinking of that question.
Is he here?
There is someone with big glasses, but I didn't notice a shoulder twitch.
If I noticed it, surely you would have.
Your Majesty, I honestly did not notice the shoulder twitch.
You're scared of them, aren't you? I can see it in your face. And you call yourself a lawyer. Ha!
I am not scared. I am concerned that we are running late.
How dare they insult me like this and turn up assuming that nothing has happened?
Oh, you mean the letter?
They accuse me of neglecting my own country. That is most inconsiderate and demeaning. It was a direct challenge to my authority as head of state.
They did not say that exactly.
Nathaniel, I have faith in you.
Yes.
I have every faith that you will ask the delegates my question about monogamy and report back.
It is a strange question.
Do you want me to replace you?
Of course not, Your Majesty.
Then practice.
Sorry?
Practice asking the question.
I fear that...
Get on with it. The delegates are waiting.
So I am asking, what are your thoughts on monogamy?
Good. Now off you go.
I have a very bad feeling about this meeting.
Now what are you muttering about?
The thing is...
This is very important to me, Nathaniel. I am preparing for my next wedding. Once Humphrey is well, everything will be fine.
But the delegates do not wish to discuss your 5th wedding preparations.
I am the king of Quiet Island. And if I want to discuss my 5th wedding preparations, then I will talk about my 5th wedding preparations. I am very much looking forward to it, and I will not allow anyone to ruin this joyous occasion. Is that clear?
Very clear.
Where's Lawrence? I should be having this conversation with Lawrence. He is more understanding of my personal needs than you are.
Your Majesty, I profusely apologize. I do not wish to hurt your feelings.
I will wait.
Or what, Your Majesty?
Please summon Lawrence.
After speaking to Lawrence, will you meet with the delegates?
I will speak to Lawrence first, and then I will see how I feel.
The delegates will be very disappointed.
I am already disappointed.
I will tell them that you need more time.
I need to check on Humphrey.
Your Majesty, I hope that my asking Lawrence to bring you to the Golden Room to speak to the delegates after your meeting with him will be fine.
Get out!
With annoyance, Nathaniel hurriedly exits. The king looks away as he awaits Lawrence's arrival. Scene 2. The king is at his bureau. He is busy looking at another photograph. He looks at it with fondness. Lawrence walks into the king's chamber, clears his throat, and bows his head. He's a well-dressed young man. He's the king's personal assistant. He's a simple and very polite person. The king quickly puts down the photograph and smiles at him as he is happy to see him.
Your kind Majesty.
Oh, Lawrence, thank goodness you're here. Did you see the photographs?
I looked at the first photograph, Your Majesty.
What about the second photograph?
Well, now.
She's absolutely beautiful, isn't she?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Why didn't you look at the second photograph?
I lost the second photograph.
What?
I left the room because I heard a noise coming from the balcony.
A noise? Did you see anyone?
I didn't see anyone.
So what was the noise?
I have no idea, Your Majesty.
That was very strange.
Well, as I couldn't see anyone on the balcony, I returned to my desk, and suddenly there was only one photograph.
You must find it, Lawrence.
Yes, Your Majesty.
So what do you think? She'll make an excellent queen, won't she?
What are your thoughts, Your Majesty? They are most important.
I think she's absolutely divine. I am the luckiest king alive.
I agree.
Annalise will make a splendid wife.
Yes, she will.
She's young.
She is.
She is bright.
She is, yes.
I am very excited that her family agreed to this great union.
Yes, of course.
Lawrence, I cannot stop thinking about her.
That is wonderful.
I had a dream last night. It was a radiant day. I was so happy walking in the gardens with Annalise. We were walking hand in hand. She gave me such a heartwarming smile.
Oh, how delightful.
But my moments of joy were short-lived, as my 4 other wives decided to walk up behind us. I was furious. I shouted at them, and because I raised my voice, Annalise began to cry. It ended up being a terrible dream. I woke up in a cold sweat. It has certainly affected my mood this morning.
Oh, that is a terrible dream.
I made my darling Annalise cry. I feel as though I should be punished for this awful act of unkindness.
Was just a dream, Your
I
Majesty.
don't want to talk about it anymore. It makes me feel rather uncomfortable now.
Your Majesty, Nathaniel said it's very important that I see you right now.
Nathaniel wants me to meet with the delegates.
Yes, he told me.
I think the delegates are making fun of me.
Oh?
Do they know who I am? I'm the king of this fine island.
Indeed.
I am the law. If I say do it, they must listen. If they break the law, they must face the consequences. It's careless and harmful act to ridicule the king of Quiet Island.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Those delegates should be punished, don't you think?
Well,
Spit it out. Just tell me what you're thinking, Lawrence.
your thread has arrived. It was delivered early this morning.
Oh, that is good news. Annalise will be pleased.
Yes.
I cannot wear that bronze tunic again with the old thread. I wore it at my last wedding.
The seamstress was delighted with your Metler silk finish cotton thread. Your new tunic will be ready by tomorrow evening, sir.
I might have a few wrinkles here and there, but once I wear that organza tunic, I'll be the most handsome king alive.
Also, your mother had a few questions.
Lawrence, I have a reputation to maintain. Therefore, I cannot talk to my mother.
Yes, Your Majesty.
After dinner last night, she was trying to put ideas into my head. And
Suddenly, the king's mother emerges. She is in her 70s. She is very well presented. The king is irritated by this sudden intrusion. Lawrence remains still. The king's mother urgently addresses them.
I said to you yesterday, Groggy.
Mother, I've asked you many times to stop calling me that.
I know, and I've repeatedly retorted that Groggy is a very sweet and endearing name for my only son, who was born with a rather tired and ugly expression.
Mother, why are you here?
I thought you had called for me.
I did not.
Oh, must have been something in the air then.
Lawrence and I were in the middle of a conversation.
Your Highness.
Did you consider what I said to you last night?
The fact of the matter is, I did not bother listening to you, Mother. It was rather boring.
What a surprise.
As I was in the middle of a private conversation, please kindly leave us, Mother.
No.
Please.
I said no.
I will not listen.
You will not get married again.
Lawrence, as we were discussing,
Cancel it.
once my tunic is ready, please bring it to me so that I can examine it closely. It has to be absolutely perfect for the wedding.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Mother, have you decided what you're going to wear?
The wedding must not take place. Don't you realize that you're a laughing stock?
What utter nonsense.
I want you to get a grip.
Your Majesty, may
Be
I?
quiet, Lawrence.
I don't think red or pink are quite your colors, so please aim for something different this time.
I will not be wearing anything for the wedding because there isn't going to be a wedding.
That's the most shocking behavior for a member of the royal family. Why would you not wear anything to my wedding? You cannot appear naked.
This is my last warning.
Mine too. I am the king of Quiet Island, and I do not have to listen to your perpetual negativity surrounding my wedding plans. Annalise is the love of my life.
For the moment.
And I will wed her and bring her to the palace. She will be the best wife yet.
Groggy, this time things will be different. I'm going to see Odette.
I don't care.
Do not underestimate her spiritual powers.
Odette is a pathetic and unreliable clairvoyant who makes things up as she goes along. She's not psychic, she's a troublemaker.
She is not a troublemaker.
I am going to get married for the 5th time, and you and the nation will watch in awe. That is final. Lawrence, please take my mother away.
Yes.
Lawrence will do no such thing. Mark my word, Odette is the only one who can save this kingdom from further ruin.
With fury, Mother exits the king's chambers. The king looks on with astonishment. Lawrence remains quiet.
The Tarantula's Pet Frog, a comedy by Rex McGregor. Setting: outside and inside a tarantula's burrow. Inside her burrow, Ethel is brooding over her eggs. Outside, Ike enters, fleeing in terror from Barb, who blocks his escape.
You're cornered, little frog. There's nowhere to hop.
But you don't want to eat me, ma'am. I'm toxic.
Yum. I like my food spicy.
You'll get a bellyache.
I know shiny snacks are a health hazard, but I can't resist.
Think of your figure. A scorpion should be mean and lean. Us amphibians are fattening.
I'm body positive. I embrace all meals.
Stop!
Stand still. I'll sting you in the heart. Death will be swift and almost agony-free.
Here's a hole. I'll squeeze through.
Come back!
You can't reach me. Your body's too positive. I'm safe.
No, you're not. You've invaded Krabby's burrow.
Crabs don't scare me.
Krabby isn't a crustacean. She's a fellow arachnid.
A harmless tick, I hope. Or a teensy mite.
He's a cantankerous tarantula.
Oh, no!
I am surprised she hasn't pounced already. Hey, Krabby! Are you asleep?
For pity's sake, Barb, let a widow mourn in peace.
You have an intruder.
Disturbing my grief. How callous.
Please don't eat me.
Spit out the leftovers, Krabby. Frog legs are a delicacy.
Mine are indigestible.
Put them to use. Scram! I've lost my appetite.
Really?
I haven't eaten a thing since my late husband.
Passed away?
Tragically.
Was it natural causes or accidental?
Both. Oh, we were making love. He snuggled his head close to my fangs, and I instinctively
ate him.
Every last morsel.
Since you're full, kindly pass me the frog.
Lady of Sorrows, may I express my deepest condolences?
Oh, thank you.
The dear departed was a true hero, sacrificing his nutrients for the good of the family.
Well, that's a very sensitive way of putting it.
Oh, I'm happy to stay here and console you for as long as I'm needed.
Oh, you're most kind, but I'm not ready to start dating again.
What? No, I wouldn't dream of replacing the sainted martyr.
And suffering his fate.
I'm offering a platonic companionship.
Without any canoodling?
Not the slightest nibble.
Ignore his sweet talk, Krabby.
Stop calling me that, Barb. You know perfectly well my name is Ethel.
Howdy, I'm Ike. Delighted to make your acquaintance.
Oh, I do appreciate courtesy.
He's a smarmy coward just trying to save his skin.
I admit it. I'd like to keep my nutrients in my own body instead of feeding hers.
Typical selfishness. Get out.
Your loss is affecting your judgment, Ethel. You shouldn't be alone.
Well, I'll have plenty of company. My darling left me 1,000 eggs to hatch.
Congratulations. You'll need help looking after them. Let me be their nanny.
You?
Well, I've always been good with tadpoles.
Well, spiderlings present a bigger challenge. With 8 legs each?
I'll keep them in check.
Oh, don't listen to him, Eth. Your babies will end up on his sticky tongue.
That's a vicious slander. I'm on a strict low-venom diet.
Well, I'm sorry, Ike. I can't hire a child care worker with no tarantula-specific experience.
Well, then adopt me as a pet.
A what?
A companion from a different species. I more than qualify. I'm a vertebrate.
I don't understand.
I have a backbone.
Oh, that's a matter of opinion.
Well, I'm familiar with the taxonomic classification, but what is this pet concept?
Well, it's when one animal keeps another, like ants and aphids.
Don't mention ants. They're my worst nightmare.
Why?
Given half a chance, they would gobble up my eggs. I dread the thought of an infestation.
Well, surely they're no match for a warrior such as you.
The pesky things are so tiny. My fangs can't even get a grip. If a troop infiltrates my burrow, I'll have to stand by and watch the massacre.
Well, not true. You can rely on your trusty watch frog.
My what?
Oh, your new pet. Me. I eat ants for breakfast. Literally.
You'd be willing to protect my babies?
In return for a safe haven, scraps from your dinner, and a little innocent affection.
Affection?
Could you bring yourself to stroke my back or pat me on the head every now and then?
Well, you're awfully slimy. Oh, but I suppose I could manage it.
And we have a deal?
Enough chatter! All this talk of eating is making me hungrier. Hand him over, Eth!
That would be unethical.
Unethical. You're so clever.
Well, I wasn't even trying.
Wasting food is no joke.
I'm keeping him. I've made my decision, and it's one I'll never rhubarb.
Rhubarb! Keep them coming!
Oh, I had no idea I was so entertaining.
Cognitive stimulation is one of the benefits of pet ownership, along with stress relief and lower anxiety.
Just what I need. You're a godsend, Ike.
Cut the droppings. I've been waiting for my meal for ages. I demand immediate service.
Dream on.
Right. You leave me no choice. I must resort to my ultimate weapon.
Your sting can't penetrate this fortress.
But ants can.
What?
Hordes of ants.
I'll eat them.
Your stomach has limited capacity. I'll commandeer my entire army.
No, please, Barb. Show some mercy.
Evict my lunch. Now.
Ike, my eggs are at stake. Would you mind leaving?
I can't. I'm petrified.
Well, in that case, forgive me, but...
Too late. I'll be back shortly with battalions of marauding troops.
Wait!
I'm fed up with waiting. We'll teach you to give diners the prompt attention they deserve.
Barb exits.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ike. When she returns, I must throw you out.
Well, don't feel bad. Owners often abandon pets.
After a couple of minutes?
Well, this may be a world record.
Oh, if only there was another way.
Another way? Let me think.
What's wrong?
Us vertebrates have this thing called a brain. Using it can be extremely painful.
Well, I managed to function perfectly well without one.
Well, so do we, most of the time. Here it comes!
What?
An idea. I don't only have a stomach. I have a throat, too.
Oh, brilliant. And how many ants will that hold?
It doesn't have to hold any. It just needs to hold them all off. And it can.
Oh, how?
I'll croak, long and loud, at an unbearably high volume.
Hang on. Ants don't have ears.
Well, neither do spiders. All this time you've been sensing my vibrations, haven't you?
It's the only logical explanation.
Well, I'll drive the ants mad with my pulsating roar.
Barb
Left
enters.
flank, advance! On the double! Show no quarter!
Oh, here they come. Ike, where are you going?
I'll produce more resonance from outside.
But will you be safe?
Well, don't ask me. I'm too busy being brave.
Soldiers! Hold ranks! Stop retreating! This is desertion! You'll all be court-martialed!
Oh, Ike, my hero.
Turned out to be a pleasant night. Turned out to be a pleasant night.
You already said that.
I know, but you didn't respond.
Respond to what?
To my comment on the night and how it has turned out.
What? You wanted me to disagree with you?
Well, only if you do. If not, then merely acknowledgement of my observation would be a right topper.
You didn't ask a question. You made a statement. There was nothing for me to respond to. I don't waste my time with idle talk.
We are sitting on a porch at night. What's left but conversation?
Who says we have to talk? Why can't we just sit and enjoy the night?
I could do that alone.
What? You don't want me here? I can go if you want me to leave.
That's not what I said. I'm merely suggesting that two grown men such as ourselves should have something to talk about.
Like how pleasant the night is. Hey, Michael, how's it going? You want to talk about something? That's something to talk about. Kids these days, no respect. Can't even take time to say hello.
That's because that wasn't Michael. That was Michelle.
Michelle who?
Michelle Landon, Bob and Gracie's kid.
Michelle? Bob and Gracie don't have a daughter. I've known Michael since he was in diapers. He used to cut my grass.
In his diapers?
Don't be an idiot. I know Michael, and that was Michael.
Not anymore. Now she is Michelle.
Why would a boy change his name to Michelle?
She has changed more than her name. She is becoming a woman.
Why? You mean the snip?
Last month, Michael is now Michelle, and from what I understand, she is much happier.
And Bob and Gracie are all on board with this.
They want their child to be happy.
And if he or she wanted to blow up the high school, they'd be happy with that.
Now who's being the idiot?
You know, when my Joe Jr. started cutting out paper dolls, I went straight out, bought him a football, got him enrolled in football camp. All I had to do was redirect him down the right path. And now look at it. Full-time, log hauling the big rigs.
Oh, I guess that worked for him. How's it doing on the road?
He does those long cross-country shipments. No time to call. I'm sure he's fine.
Oh, I'm sure he's right as rain. Yeah. Do you ever ring him up?
He knows how to get to me when he wants. Will you look at this?
What?
Them two. Walking around with masks on outdoors.
It's still advisable. Besides, that's Archie. He has CLL.
See what?
CLL, chronic lymphatic leukemia.
And a mask cures leukemia?
It's an autoimmune disease. His body may not be able to fight off other viruses.
Archie ain't never been able to put up much of a fight about anything.
This fight could knock him out of the ring.
Hell, I guess if I was Archie, I'd wear a mask just out of embarrassment.
Sometimes I wonder why you and I are acquainted.
Because when Big Mac got in your face on the playground, I was the only one who stepped up and made sure you didn't get knocked out.
Right. I was the new kid and Big Mac was one mean thug.
Yep. She was the meanest kid in first grade.
I guess I owe you, although I think that IOU was paid off some time ago.
Can't put a price on friendship. But tell me, how can you know more about the goings-on in this neighborhood than I do?
You'd be amazed at how much you can learn about someone when you take an interest in their lives.
That's okay. I know you. That's enough. Nobody in this town got anything worth knowing.
You're a gentleman and a scholar.
And a fine judge of women and whiskey. You know what I don't know?
Are you sure you want me to answer that?
Now, we've known each other since elementary school.
True.
Basically, we've grown up together our entire life.
Basically?
Our entire life in the same town, on the same street.
Entirely correct.
So why the accent?
What accent?
Your accent.
I don't have an accent.
Come on. Even in high school, every time I'd start a conversation with a cute chick, you'd open your mouth. And from that point on, she would only have ears for you.
I always thought it was my personality.
I got more personality than you. Yours was just packaged different, and they all fell for it.
And I just thought they all preferred my blinding company. Pleasant night, isn't it?
Hunky-dory, mate.
Bob's your uncle.
Bob who?
And Fanny's your aunt. Oh. To friendship, no matter how misguided.
So everybody can turn the mics on, turn on the videos. Anybody who can stick around, please do. We just have some conversation now. You can talk about whatever you've seen or heard. Our first one was the crown craziness of His Majesty's matrimonial fancy. My first question, Tasmin, is there more of this story?
Yes, because it's an excerpt from a whole play. It's very. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, can you hear me? Yeah. Is my mic good?
You're a little bit
Yes.
low, actually, but
Is it a little bit low?
a little bit low volume.
Sorry, let me try again.
That's better.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. Yes, there is more of this crazy comedy. Well done, Chuck. Well done, Rachel. Leslie's not here. Well done, James and Michelle. I did enjoy it, given the very small window, the breakout room, where 30 minutes just vanished. We did a great job. Thank you so much. I enjoyed it, and I hope the actors did enjoy it. It worked well, and yeah, I hope that nobody thought it was just so crazy. That where is this going? I mean, yeah, the king is a bit irresponsible, isn't he? He's like a little child.
I loved him.
Yeah, it's great.
Chuck was amazing, wasn't he?
And we're so glad that he no longer has any internet interruptions.
Yes. Maybe I should have had some. I missed some words.
No. You were great. Thank you. I mean, given the small window here, yeah, it was great.
It was fun. Thank you. Fun part.
Yeah, I'd love to
Thank
see the
you.
rest of it.
Oh, thank you.
Will you be bringing it in?
Oh, the pressure. Okay, I will have a look at it. I wrote this last year, and I thought I really want to write something that doesn't, maybe I'll turn it the other way around, pushes a few boundaries, you know. And, you know, you don't have to be responsible all the time. Just because you're head of state, you can go crazy and say, you know, the delegates are here. He doesn't think it's very important because Humphrey didn't sleep last night. And you just think, what? And I think Nathaniel is probably kind of bricking it, going, oh, my God. Oh, but I do want to keep my job. So I'll keep the conversation flowing. Because at one point, I think the king says, do you want me to replace you? And Nathaniel just wants to keep it going, you know, keep a decorum here. And then Lawrence, who doesn't actually give, can I say it, a shit?
That is
You could say.
Yeah.
Zoom.
Lawrence, yes, Your Majesty. And every time, you see, with the yes, Your Majesty, if we had more time to discuss, yes, Your Majesty, in rehearsal, that is, yes, Your Majesty is like, oh, for God's sake. And then replace the next, yes, Your Majesty, oh, for, and you can swear, whatever. And you go, yes, Your Majesty, yes, Your Majesty, God, Your Majesty.
Right.
But you were brilliant.
No,
Yeah,
I enjoyed playing the difference between Michelle with Nathaniel, very like strict to the point, and then, oh, here's my favorite, Lawrence, my kiss up one,
yeah.
my yes man.
And the irony here is that Lawrence knows how to play him, and Lawrence doesn't care one iota, but he carries on, and the king's like, oh, this is the best person to speak to.
Yes.
You know, screw the delegate.
They did a great
My
job.
mom.
And Mom too, Leslie and Mom. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, and you were great. I loved your.
Playing with all these beautiful women, that was tough. And thank you for the narration. Got me in.
Yes, James, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, James.
Yeah, very clear, very nicely.
Very
read.
good timing. Thank you.
Yeah. So I hope everyone enjoyed the comical thread here. I think that's really my drive.
Sure.
But
It's fun.
thank you.
Yeah.
I look forward to hearing more about the from the king and his mother. I love that relationship.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, the clairvoyant.
No.
King and his mother.
Oh, King and his mother. I'm sorry. Yes. Because the mother still treats him like a child. Despite the fact that he has this life and all these wives and these children. Yeah, just treats him like a mother. Oh, you can't go to my wedding naked. I mean, God, why would you even say that? Okay, I wrote it, but I'm just saying.
And I want to know the deal about the bride, because Lawrence seemed to be holding back about her.
When he cleared his throat, she is bright.
And I kept thinking that maybe the bride is an animal, since the king is so.
Is Annalise an animal?
Oh, and
Wow,
you
that's
may have to change the introduction. You had the king as handsome.
Okay.
You may change that,
but
bring
he's
that
not
down.
very. He's not
Cute.
very clever though.
Cute.
Cute. Yeah.
Don't know
No,
about
handsome. Handsome sounds grand. Oh, I'll go with handsome. Handsome sounds grand. I think it's just the llama.
I love all that
Getting
about the
him right.
llama. It was so funny. Yeah, thinking he was talking about a person and it's the
I
llama.
need a lot of makeup to be handsome. That's what it was. They just put a lot of makeup on.
Yeah.
Yes, I
and
love
think-
the.
Sorry.
I love the different relationships and how the king just completely swaps with his mother. Well, he swaps with the three of them, and I thought that worked terribly well and very well put forward by the actors.
Yes.
And but
definitely.
Rachel's character was it was almost a Shakespearean.
Linguistic flair. She had-
version of it just had that kind of which made it very courtly, because it just had that kind of almost Shakespearean kind of courtly
feel to it.
deference with all the shades. So that was wonderful.
Yeah.
Rachel.
Oh,
yeah.
thank you.
I
Yeah.
love your voice. I love your voice.
Yeah.
No, but it's
yeah.
interesting what Tasmin's saying about the fact that, because I didn't read it like that, the fact that he's getting more annoyed, and so, but it's nice. Obviously, if we read more, then you could look into it.
Yeah, yeah. But it was great that Rachel just, I mean, I don't know what to expect until on the day. Everyone reads it, everybody gets a feel of it on the day, and it was great. Rachel was great, and so was Michelle. This is the first time I've met them. So yeah, it worked. It worked really well. Thank you for making sure that the king was crazy. That was great. Yeah, it was good.
Well done
Yeah.
on that. It's great. Really good.
Yeah, yeah.
Very
So
wonderful.
hopefully, hopefully the. Oh, this is for next month. Okay, the pressure's on.
Yes, and we already have one script submitted for April, which is really nice. And it
Oh wow.
and most of it has been cast, from what I understand. Good.
If you still need a
brilliant.
king,
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
I'm an actor, but I dabble in writing. How many pages do you take to read?
We try to keep it around 10 pages because we like each one to be about 10 minutes.
Okay.
So
What
you
if it's a
can
screenplay? Same.
you can do like Tasmin and bring in a piece of it
Right.
if you want. And I actually suggest that for writers, especially if you're struggling with a script and you want to bring in a piece of it just so that you can hear it. It could help.
Okay.
And some clarification, because I think there were a few plays when I first started where if we wanted to, the actors and the director, the writer got together beforehand and rehearsed a little bit. Is that still possible?
That's entirely up to the cast and director. Yeah, you can do that
I
beforehand.
just wanted Tasmin to know that in case she didn't, if she wanted to, for future, have a little extra time.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. So unless there's any other comments, we can move on to Rex McGregor's The Tarantula's Pet Frog.
So funny.
That was hilarious.
Hilarious. Really good.
So Rex, if you were to get a percentage, what percentage do you think of your scripts that you've written are not human?
yeah, I was gonna say.
Less than 5%.
Less than 5%?
I've written a lot of scripts.
Okay.
I've written over 100 short plays,
Okay.
and I've written, about 9 or 10 that have been non-human, but I've written other plays of other lengths, which are all human. But what I've actually done is I've compiled about 9 of these short plays based on non-human characters into what will hopefully be an evening's entertainment.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Nice.
I was about to say that it could even be, maybe you could publish a book of those plays just with the animal characters.
Yeah,
that would work.
With an interesting title about
trying to be human.
Yeah. Oh, there's a good title.
You're very imaginative with it, Rex, and it's so. How do you get under the skin of the animals in the way that you do?
Well, I just imagine I'm them. So I'll just tell you how this play came about. A theatre put out a call for plays about pets, and I figured, most people are going to do cats or dogs, so I'll Google unusual pets, and I came across this fact of nature that tarantulas actually do, according to some scientists, keep tiny frogs to protect their eggs, and the frog gets the benefit of the protection of the tarantula's burrow. So it's all based on fact.
Well, interesting.
And you can actually go onto YouTube and find a clip of a spider stroking the head of a tiny frog.
Oh, wow. That's really interesting.
It may not be affectionate, maybe that it's sensing that it's not a threat, but it just looks so cute.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where the play came from.
Wow.
You're our animal expert.
Yeah.
I thought the actors did great. I thought they
were they were superb. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. You put the animals over just absolutely convincingly, in fact.
Yeah, before today I wasn't even interested in a tarantula. Is it? I am.
The whole place eccentric and whimsical very well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We could see the fear in Paul.
Yes.
The entire cast is very funny to watch.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah.
Very funny ending. Charge, when we heard it, that was hilarious. Retreating.
I like that.
Loved it.
And the way the story kind of took the path it did. I mean, they were constantly kind of, oh, I see. Wasn't expecting that, and then, oh yes, I see. Oh, why? So it was constantly intriguing. It was great.
Great imagination, definitely.
Yes.
And a nice frog sound too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, well done, Paul. I think it was. Was it Paul?
Yes.
Yeah. Very good.
It was interesting when I first read it. I thought, this is ridiculous. That was my first impression. But then as I read it, it goes into you and you say, no, it's not ridiculous. This is the way it would play out. This is the way these characters would react to each other. But and so I, the more I read it, the more I realized there was something to it.
Yeah.
Metaphorical.
Mm.
So Rex, how did the off-Broadway play go?
Oh, I didn't have a chance to see it, of course, but I hear the production was successful and the audience enjoyed it.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah.
What was that? What was going on?
It was a play called Unromantic Comedy, which was put on at a short play festival in New York.
Oh, right.
We actually videotaped it when it was performed here, and Paul was in it.
Paul played the male character, yeah.
And was it Gretty? Were you in it also?
Yeah,
that's right. That's the one with
that's
the
right, yeah.
Yeah.
The florist, yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, yeah. I remember now. Yeah.
I'm sorry to leave, but I'm struggling to stay up.
Thank you so much,
I
Goretti.
hope you feel better soon.
Hi, Goretti.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye. Lovely to see you. Bye.
I'm going to leave as well because we're both sick. So.
Oh, I hope you feel better soon,
Bye.
James. Thank you so much.
See you next month.
Take it easy. See you next
Thank
month.
you.
Stay well.
Gotta go to. Yeah.
Well, we can wrap it up with porch talk then.
What an unusual friendship. And
They-
it was
They even questioned it themselves.
beautifully awkward.
Yeah, no, again, great. You did great.
I love the distinct characters.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was that kind of friendship. It wasn't like, oh, all good, all good. And I mean, it was funny too. It was, yeah, it was well done, well written. That was yours, Steve?
Yeah, yeah.
Well written. It's
Yeah.
kind of
Well
jealous.
done.
I wish I could. I wish I could be in a scene like that. That was looked like so much fun. So simple and yet funny. It was well done.
Yeah.
Well, if we do another porch talk, you can take over my character if you like.
I don't know if I'd be as good as you. That was.
What I liked was the bit about the accent, and I wondered, was this specifically written for you and Henry? Was it?
A lot of, well, I'm not, quite a few of my scripts have come from conversations with him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see you doing a comedy duo. Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Excellent.
You guys work well together.
Yeah. It was really good.
Okay. Well, in fact, you see, we had one of our long conversations on Zoom, just about this and that and the world and everything, and then the next day, Stephen sent me the script and said, "What do you think?"
And I don't know if most people know this, but Henry was one of the originators hosting this group when we did it live in Culver City. And I've been trying to get him back in here. So I asked him, I said, well, if I write something for you, will you do it? And he said, of course. So that's how I got him back in.
Oh, brilliant.
Stay with us. Great job.
Well, I'm glad I came.
Keep writing things for him.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
definitely.
I wanted to hear more of that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to. if it was in episodes, I'd watch episodes of that.
Yes.
Well, it might
there's a thought.
happen. It might happen. So porch talk,
Porch talk. Oh, that's a great name.
great
for
but
it.
it's better than my original title, I think.
What was that? Share.
2 old farts on a porch.
Okay.
Well, I like that too.
And I like the your character was Joey, as it says there.
Yeah.
I like the political correctness is truly out the window, and
Yeah.
I suppose if you have history, you have that friendship where you can literally say anything and everything,
Right.
whether it's acceptable or otherwise, and Graham is just like, okay, but he seems to just process it and just move on.
Yes. Yes.
He just processes it and moves on. That's hilarious.
That was a little bit alcohol fueled, right? The beer fueled a little bit, maybe.
I think he's had some life questions that haven't gone well, and so he tends to take a beer now and then.
Yeah.
So it's a little uninhibited, what comes out of him.
It's great. It's real. It's
Yeah, and it works really well.
And it worked well online. I felt like I was watching two guys, like you say, on a porch.
Yeah.
It worked really well online, I thought.
And actually, I'm gonna change my video to show you guys where we are.
Yeah, it really did feel like you were in the same space.
Yes.
No, I can't find it.
Well, there's a story to that too. I mean,
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Here we go. No more virtual background.
Oh,
so that's where it really is.
right.
I had to use a virtual button.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Stephen's porch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
It's just that when we were rehearsing it, it wasn't as dark here now as it is now, so it didn't match up as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it worked really well.
Still works. Either background. It would work. Yeah. works well.
Yeah, just a thought about backgrounds actually, that some people do very well. There was a play of yours, Rex, which the one with the tent in the park, where the background, so it was measured so that my background, for example, I created that. My background is halfway cut with what Stephen's background was, and so it looks like a continuous run, which I think helps. I mean, often people just put the same actual background. I think it's nice to do that. But I was very impressed with what they did with the tent play, Rex. Didn't that look marvelous?
We did something like that for Sky Pilot Theater. We did a scene that takes place in a lab. So the director took one big picture, actually divided it into 4 sections, and gave us each one section. So we were standing in the same lab, but not the same exact backdrop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you guys got this. It's amazing what you can do. Yeah. I couldn't do it, but he did it. But it looked great, like you're in the same patio porch.
Yeah, I think the thing with backgrounds, one of the key things is a green screen, because it really does help to avoid all that melting that you get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I remember early on in these Zoom readings, there was melting all over the place, but maybe I just don't notice it so much anymore, but I'm not distracted by it in the way that I used to. So I think it's just more people are adopting green screens, or maybe even Zoom has improved its technology. So things are certainly a lot better than they were a year ago.
Well, one of the things that Henry and I had talked about experimenting with, because it kind of happened on one of the plays that he was doing, everybody had in their background was a house from the South, maybe New Orleans or something like that. And while they were rehearsing, they decided to take a break. And one of the actors stood up and walked to the back of his room, and he walked through the house like he was going through the front door. And so we thought maybe we could use that with somebody, if we can get 2 actors together in the same room, but pretend that they're not, but yet be able to come through their background like that. Still working on that.
Yeah, I think I think Zoom have improved, and also a lot of people have upgraded their computers, have got better computers.
Yeah.
So I think all of it has just improved. I mean, it's been 2 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Zoom have done a lot with their platform.
So Jackie, what did you think?
I loved it.
Okay.
Because I love seeing Henry, and I love seeing you, and then when you put you together, it's just awesome.
All right.
You seem a bit distant there, Jackie. Sorry, we're not quite.
Yeah, we don't talk about her Chromebook volume.
Oh, do we not? Sorry. Sorry.
We've worked on that a couple of times. Maybe that was one of the reasons why she wasn't saying anything.
Just mention that as well as writing plays that we've been in, Stephen wrote a play for me and Rachel, which was
lovely.
Which was so much fun, wasn't it, Rachel?
Oh my goodness, yeah, it was really.
We must re-record that, because we did it in a live stream with the Houston group.
Is it online?
It kind of is, but it was a very shaky connection.
It was 2 years ago, probably. I don't know what. Yeah, wasn't it?
About a year, yeah, something.
It's such a funny play that Stephen wrote.
Yes, we must re-record it, and
we can do it here next month if you two would like to do that.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're no pressure, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll post it.
Right.
And Porch Talk. I was thinking it would be interesting to see Porch Talk with 2 women, but you'd probably have to slightly rewrite it, wouldn't you? But
Stephen, it's your baby. What do you think?
With 2 women? I'm not sure if I could write it from that. I'm not sure if I would.
Challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something to think about. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be the chicks, probably. It'd be the blokes, wouldn't it?
Right. But are you suggesting the same dialogue, but just switch it to women, or write something for two women?
I was thinking the same play, but tweaked.
Okay.
But or write something else.
It would definitely have a different energy.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
And we definitely have female actresses with English accents.
Yeah.
It would work. Well, it's it's your call, Stephen.
I will definitely think about it.
Well,
It might
perhaps
be
with
something
women,
more like something more like the Real World Housewives, though.
No, don't ruin it.
Well, you
Leave
probably call it porch gossip instead of porch talk.
Oh, please. Women don't gossip. Men wish they could
Men
gossip.
do.
That's true. Not that men don't gossip sometimes when they're talking to each other.
It could
Oh,
be
yes, I
could be
believe you.
Joey and Graham's wives. Although I don't think Joey has a wife. Not anymore.
Ah,
The drinking.
can't be just the drinking.
Probably not.
Probably not. More to it than that.
Yes.
Yeah,
It had almost a Godot flavor. It could have almost gone off into an existential, almost, a strange, whimsical feel to it.
Yeah.
A little bit, an odd feeling. Could have explored that sense. I like the silences seem to feel as important as the words.
The Odd Couple comes to mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, that dependency they have on each other. They can't live with each other, but they can't stand each other. But they still
Right.
want to listen to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works well.
I don't know why I was thinking of the Red Green Show for some reason when I was.
I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah.
The Red Green Show?
Yeah, the
Is
Red.
that from British TV?
It's a Canadian.
Oh,
It's a Canadian TV show. It's the guy is his name is Red Green.
Huh.
And it's called the Red Green Show. And
Where do you watch it? Where do you see that on?
I think it's no longer. It may still be running, but
Was it streamed or was it on television?
But there were two guys, and they're always talking about this and that. It was always a different topic, and well, you can find some of it on YouTube.
Okay. All right.
The Red Green Show.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why. If I really think about it, it's not. That came to mind when I was thinking about what you and Henry did.
Okay.
Yeah,
It was very popular. It was a very popular show. I mean, it wasn't super popular because nobody in the room has heard of it. But
I know I've heard of it. Well, I used to watch it.
oh, you used to watch?
Yeah, two older guys like out in the woods or something.
Yeah, and he's always fixing things with duct tape.
Yeah.
Whatever is broken, duct tape will remedy the problem.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
While we're all here, we've got people from different nationalities. Can I just ask a question, which I think the English people will know the answer to, but the Americans may not. So what I want to know is how familiar are Americans, if at all, with classic British television shows, say from the 80s? So, for example, if I say the word Heidi High, what is the response?
I think it's more of I'm so sorry, I may not be answering your question here, but my Australian friends know British primetime TV shows, and they're asking me. So
right.
Americans probably not.
I love the comedies, but I don't remember Heidi High.
No. So there were a whole series of British TV shows from the 70s and 80s that I don't think were ever screened in the US. The reason I'm asking is that I'm currently working with 3 actors in Britain. We're doing a little video spoof of Heidi High, and I just don't think it will be familiar enough to show to American audiences, but the Brits will love it, I think.
Is it on BritBox? I know a lot of people watch BritBox and things like that.
Yes,
now.
it is on BritBox.
Oh, it is? Well, maybe
What-
people
Yeah, yeah.
heard of it more now then.
And
Yeah.
one
Are
of
you
my
being-
favorite series was Faulty Towers.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
Faulty
really?
Towers, I think, was familiar to everybody because it was. Are most Americans familiar with Faulty Towers?
Yes.
I like
And probably Monty Python.
Monty
Yeah.
Python,
Yeah.
Keeping Up Appearances.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, keeping up
Are you being served?
Are You Being Served? Yeah.
Oh, right.
You know,
Yeah.
you can look up what how we know about those shows is through the public broadcasting system,
Oh, PBS, did they show
PBS,
that? Right.
and but they were very selective what shows they would have and what shows they
Yeah.
would. And in fact, I even understand they were very selective about certain episodes. They didn't want to have a particular episode.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I guess they rented it or paid for the rights to show it in the U.S.
And the other thing that the US TV did was they would take a British show like The Office and basically do an American version of The Office,
Which
with Steve Carroll instead of what's his name? I can't remember his name.
As time goes by.
Yeah. Well, All in the Family, I think All in the Family is the American version of Till Death Do Us Part.
Yeah. And House of Cards is another good example. It was originally a British show, but got a much wider audience when the Americans did it.
I love the Benny Hill show.
Oh, wow.
Benny Hill. Oh, yeah.
And what was the one about World War II, the French resistance? Are you there?
Yeah.
That's
Hello,
Army.
hello, wasn't it?
Hello,
Hello, hello.
Hello, yeah.
Yeah, I love that one.
And then there was the Black Adder.
The black.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. Yes.
Oh,
right,
so you
yeah.
do know actually quite a few.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, they showed them on
I stand to be
PBS.
corrected.
What about
Yeah.
Dad's
And,
Army? Does
and that
Dad's
Judi Dench, what was that Judi Dench show?
As time goes by, I think.
As time
Yeah.
goes by,
Michelle
yeah.
mentioned
And
that
the
one.
older folks.
Did anyone watch the Yes Prime Minister, Yes Minister?
We had that also in the States.
Oh, I'm a
Oh,
big
that's
fan.
interesting because that's very British. So I'm surprised that one got there.
Yeah, they did have that episode. They did have that show.
That's interesting. I mean, Heidi High was about a holiday camp in Britain, so the whole concept of it probably isn't something that Americans would relate to. You know, in the British.
I don't know. I think a lot of Americans are really obsessed with England, particularly with the royal family. I think.
There's nothing royal about Heidi High, Stephen.
I know, but what I'm saying is that we're exposed enough to that culture that I think we'd be able to accept anything that came out that was about the English culture.
Oh,
Certainly
like
the Crown
the
is really
Crown and
popular.
everything. The Crown.
Yeah, the Crown is huge.
Things like that.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, the Crown.
So
And
well
we've got
done.
Bridgerton now, haven't we?
Bridgerton.
But we had also Last of the Summer Wine.
Yep.
Oh,
It's good. I'm
hilarious.
surprised you got actually like then, Paul. See, in New Zealand, we got the best of British and the best of American, so I'm familiar with both sides.
But you've got some hilarious films. The New Zealand films. There's so many hilarious New Zealand films. We watch a lot, obviously, because of my husband. You know, and so much on Netflix and Amazon to watch. I think it's hilariously funny.
Well, we're all keeping our fingers crossed for the Oscars today because The Power of the Dog was directed by a New Zealander, and although it was set in Montana, it was actually filmed in New Zealand. So we'd love to have a boost of tourism as a result of that. So fingers crossed for that.
Yeah,
It's amazing how much content for Netflix and Hulu and all of these streaming, Amazon Prime, that content is made someplace else in the world, like Barcelona and Budapest and.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, fingers crossed she wins. We want her.
Yeah.
To. Yeah, absolutely. Because the Oscars are, well, it's the 28th here already. So, yeah, 5 minutes ago. So, yeah, tonight should be good. Maybe Leslie has an insight. I don't know. Leslie left for her little party.
I want to thank everybody so much. I have to go now, but I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you so much, Michelle. You were wonderful.
Hi,
Thank
Michelle.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're
See you
here
soon.
every month.
Yeah.
I look
See
forward.
you
I
next
look
month,
forward to
maybe.
participating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take
I'm
care.
going to have to too. Thank you so much for having me. I
Thank you,
really,
Rachel.
really
You were
Bye,
brilliant.
Rachel.
Thank you so much. See you
enjoyed
soon.
it. Thanks,
Go to-
Paul and
Bye, bye, bye,
I'm
Henry.
gonna go.
Thank you.
We only did 3, but they were 3 fantastic jobs. It was.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
It
all.
was really good.
I'm gonna go check on my llama. I gotta go.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
if you
take
need,
care.
Tasmin, if you need a king for episode 2,
Oh, thank you so much, Chuck. You're very kind. I will
Thank
keep
you.
you posted. I will get my skids
stay
on.
well. Stay well,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye. Bye. Stephen, thank you
Bye,
so
Chuck.
much.
Bye.
Thank you for a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank
Night.
you.
See you all.
Okay.
Bye.